Let's bring in Marko Begovic to discuss the implications. Marko is an associate professor of sports history and sports management at Molde University in Norway. Marko, thank you so much for joining us here on the World Roundup show. Is it normalizing aggression? Is this rewarding Russia for their bad behavior?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. The International Judo Federation decision to reinstate Russia under its national colors, it's not just a sporting matter, I would say. Of course, it's a symbolic move as part of the wider implication. It's part of the recent development that reinstates representation of Belarusian athletes. So the International Judo Federation Executive Committee voted to permit Russian athletes to compete under the national flag as of this event, Abu Dhabi Grand Slam. So historically, sport as part of the sanction policy is not a new phenomenon. From the time when the UN Security Council adopted Resolution 757 that included sport, global political architecture has been significantly changed. Therefore, we need to observe this decision within geopolitical flux in mind that resulted in a shift of power. The power is moving eastbound and southbound and has transformative effects on multilateralism towards multipolarity and decline of rule-based order with transactional governance culture in place.
Does that, though, bear in mind the nature of the sport that we are talking about? We are talking about judo, and this is a sport which Vladimir Putin himself is a black belt in. Is that a coincidence, then, that Russia is now welcome back on this particular venue, in this particular act and sporting code?
So your question is, why is this important? First, it's break the precedence. Now the IJF is the first major Olympic sport federation to fully restore national representation, that includes flag, anthem, and insignia, while the war is ongoing. The second, what you refer to, judo is not just any sport for the Russian Federation. It's closely linked to the President Vladimir Putin, and judo has been used as a soft power tool. This makes the decision symbolically very, very powerful. My research shows that such claims for neutrality, and of course this decision of the IJF justify this move, saying the sport must remain neutral. So my research actually shows that neutrality is, has been applied selectively, and this is something what has to be discussed. So the concept of political neutrality that we are talking actually here is being challenged both internally by the act of different stakeholders from the sports movement, as we are seeing now, and externally by the engagement of different governments.
Critics will talk about this rewarding the aggression and the invasion of Ukraine. In terms of Israel and why it wasn't painted with the same brush, why it didn't also face problems in terms of federations like the Judo Federation banning them, why do you think the two cases have been treated so differently, and why is Russia now able to come back and Israel wasn't banned in the first place?
It's a good remark, but allow me just to go one step, just to give you a larger picture. The banning of Russian and Belarusian tennis players, the organizers of major tennis events, the Grand Slam tournament Wimbledon, and the federation, the Lawn Tennis Association, decided, contrary to the global governing authorities in tennis, ITF, ATP, and WTA, to decline entries to professional tennis player individuals from Russia and Belarus. This ban was extended to any other tournaments. In the view of the UN rapporteur, it constitutes a discriminatory act based on nationality. So I must say the sport became highly politicized and weaponized, particularly with inconsistent application of binding sports rules. And this has not been a new phenomenon. The silence of the global sports movement in the case of different intervention and aggression, from one on Federal Republic of Yugoslavia in 1999, Iraq 2003, or Georgia 2008, confirmed not only the ambiguity of the concept of political neutrality, but also complexity of the governance structure of the global sport movement. But this case really should be observed from the perspective that not only that war was happening in Palestine, you have the case that Israeli football clubs were established on Palestine territory contrary to FIFA core regulation, especially concerning the governance of its members. And Palestinian Football Association was prevented from governing, regulating, or organizing football within the limits of its territory. This reasoning was in line with the provision of the IOC Olympic Charter, namely focusing on territorial integrity and autonomy. But despite of that, Israeli Football Association nor the Olympic movement of Israel didn't have any consequences. So we are witnessing really a double standards and selective application of the concept of political neutrality.
Marko Begovic, thank you so much for outlining that. Marko Begovic coming to us from Mulder University, just talking about Russia being reinstated into the International Judo Federation. Just a final word, an Afghan national